How you doing? I'm actually out here. I've been playing with chain. I've been playing with this 590 Echo that I built. So it appears as though there's a carburetor issue of some sort. I got it to run. Impossible to restart. But the behavior is like the carburetor just isn't right for the saw. I mean, it runs on full throttle, you're fine. But anything on idle, it's awful. I didn't have those issues when I was running the other muffler. Because that muffler was so wide open. You know what I mean? Now, I put this, it's like a factory can that I modified. Then once I put that on there, it just, all sorts of issues there. So what I did is I just took it back to the original carburetor. You know, at least it runs a lot better. You know what I mean? We'll let you hear it. Boy, she's a noisy little bugger, isn't she? It's way quieter than it was before now. I got to do some tweaks because whenever I made that original carb swap, I had to tweak the throttle linkage, and I tweaked it back, but not enough. It's just not returning all the way to idle. But she's getting there, you know. Restart's a little funky yet. I'm hoping that's the tune. You know what I mean? I'm hoping. I'm hoping that's just the tune. I gotta, you know, put her in wood and retune her and everything, because this is a different muffler. So, you know what I mean? The tune's gonna be different. We'll see. We'll see how she progresses though. But we are back to the original muffler. The other stuff I've been doing here is chain. Well, it kind of started out as, like, that's where all my bar and chains were. I moved them all over there behind me because I'm going to be eliminating everything along that wall, getting the insulation up, which I'm down to just pieces. So I'm just going to piece it together. I'm going to pull the welder off the wall, and I'm going to build a bench. It goes from the corner all the way up to there, a new workbench. And storage. One of my main issues in here is that I just don't have storage. That's junk's just laying everywhere. I don't have a spot to stick it, you know? And I've been kind of holding out because I want to put this workbench in. And I'm the type of person, I'm not a toolbox kind of person, especially at this kind of a thing. Like, toolboxes are good for working on cars and stuff, but for this kind of a situation that I do, I'd rather have everything hanging on the wall. And that's kind of what we're leaning towards. Snowmobile. Snowmobile coming by. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. We might even be, I got a feeling we're going to be pulling all that shelf down that I made whenever we do this. But that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm not really working hard at it. I just kind of work a little bit at a time, you know, a couple of minutes when I feel like it. My insulation was outside. It's got covered in snow, so everything is frozen together. So I have all of it sitting here to thaw, but because there's no heat in the shop, it's going to be a while till it thaws out. Because she'll bust apart me trying to pull it apart, you know what I mean? Now another thing I've been doing is chain. Working on my race chains. This is like a square hand file race chain setup I'm working on. This is like a practice run. So this is steel RS chain that I'm turning into a square, like race chain on 20-inch bar, because I want a 20-inch square race chain. And this is kind of like a practice run. My final one, I'm going to do it with C83 because C83 is a little narrower at the tooth. So that's what I'm going to be doing there. I've been working on my rounds too. I got 3. So yeah, I've been working on my round chain too. I got 3 of them here sharpened up. I need to have a stockpile of chain for racing that will never touch a piece of wood unless I'm at the races. And that's kind of what I've been working on. It's just this whole thing of wait until the races and then hurry up and get all your chain sharpened up and all that stuff. It's for the birds. That seems to be one of the worst things is like sometimes you're in your last minutes trying to get saws ready and everything. And I'd rather have all my chains sitting here ready to go. And that's what I've been working on. So I got 3 rounds sharpened. I got this square. I mean, it's not 100%. But I would take this to the races. It's that close, you know what I mean? I would just prefer it to be on C83. So I will be doing another one on C83. This is kind of like a practice run. You know, I've been practicing at my square. I'll show you what they look like here, what it looks like. I'll show you both chains. Okay, so first here, I'll show you the round chain, what that tooth looks like. And you can kind of see that she's a fairly hungry round chain. And then I'll show you a picture of the square here. And you'll be able to see that, I don't know, it's kind of an aggressive square sharpening, if you ask me. Some folks would be like, I don't know what some folks would say, really. Some folks would be like, yeah, that's too much. Now, some folks might think it's too much. Some folks might think, you know, whatever. I'm learning here. I'm trying to figure out how I like things. So that's kind of what you see here is me practicing. You know, I got to practice my chain setups until I get them to the point that I like them. You know what I mean? So I need, how many do I need? Like if I was to dedicate a chain for every saw that I need, the clone races you need, well, it's a 361 clone, that's a square. That you're allowed to run square on that. And the big one, the 100 cc saw and the clones, you're allowed to run square on those. So there's 2 of the clones that you're allowed to run square on. The other 2 are round chain. And then all the firewood classes, they're all round chain. So you got the 3, which is 325 chain. So on 3/8 chain, I need the 4, 5, and 6 cube, plus the 2 on the other one. So technically it'd be like 5 round chains in order to cover everything on 3/8. And that's what I'm getting, you know, I got 3 done. I still got 2 more sitting there to do. So we're gonna have 5 round chains. And the 361, because it runs an 8x8 size piece of wood, I'm running a 16-inch bar. Whereas the 100 cc, I don't know if they're gonna be running 8x8s. So I'm planning on setting it up with a 20-inch. I'm planning. So we'll see how that progresses. Just from the description of how they're, you know, what you're allowed to do with your builds and everything, it sounds like they're gonna be running smaller pieces of wood to allow you to do whatever you want, RPM-wise, all that stuff. And it's easier for them. I've been out and helped them gather up the wood before, and I will tell you, carrying 2-foot-long, 14-inch logs for them firewood classes, when you got to do 50 of them, it's a workout. And I don't blame them for doing the little 8x8s at all, not at all. In some ways, it might be easier to do more cuts on the 8x8s than doing 2 or 3 cuts on the 14-inch rounds. You know what I mean? But hey, in case you never knew that, or in case you ever wondered why they don't run the bigger woods, it's because of, you know, you got to physically move all this stuff. It's a lot of work, and you actually have to turn the wood down to the proper diameter. So you're limited to like 2-foot chunks. that you turn down into your diameter. And of course, you got to make sure you have logs that are, don't have all the knots and all that stuff. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work. And getting it set up to where you just do like 8x8s and stuff is a lot easier. So in case you ever wondered or might have, I don't know, wished they ran bigger woods, that's the issue. So at a 14-inch, 2-foot long round, trying to carry 50 of those in a shot, it's backbreaking. And that's just the 14s, because you end up needing 12s, you need 8s, you're at this for a long time during the day. It's pretty much an all-day project carrying this wood around. And if you tried to go to like 24-inch rounds, I mean, you'd be so wore out. So, I think 12, 14 inches would probably be the max that I would do, just because of the physical lugging of the wood. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. This chain here, I still got to do the rakers on all of it. I'm just working on getting the teeth set right now, and then we're going to go through and do rakers. That's kind of all we're getting into here this evening. Is I was messing with this 590 and working on this chain. We'll be testing it here soon enough. I've just been waiting because of all the weather, I haven't really been doing a lot of cutting because of this weather. The wood is so frozen that any test results I'd try to get just would not be accurate. So I'm really not in a rush to do a bunch of cutting right now. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where we're at. So, hey, I hope you enjoyed this little one. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.